Hey everyone, this is Savanna, the wellness coordinator with HealthTeam Advantage. Today we're going to be doing another cooking demo, and today is going to be a lunch meal prep that you can have throughout the week. I think a lot of people know what to do for breakfast, they know what to do for dinner, but lunch is kind of just in between. People don't really know how to go about that. So we're making a diabetic friendly pasta salad. And it's going to be super high in fiber, it's going to be really high in vegetables, and we're going to have some protein in there too. So this is going to be great for anybody who's diabetic or not diabetic. We're going to go over the ingredients that I have behind me right now. So we're going to start off with the type of pasta that we're using, which is this whole grain pasta. It doesn't matter the shape that you get necessarily, just that it is whole grain, especially if you have diabetes. We want to make sure that you're getting fiber along with any carbohydrates that you're eating. So this one in particular has 7 grams of fiber along with 8 grams of protein. So it's a really, really good choice for pasta. We've got our Olive Garden light Italian dressing. You want to make sure that the Italian dressing that you get to go on your pasta salad is a light version. You don't have to get the Olive Garden version, even though in my opinion it is the best one. You just need to get the light version. It's going to have less fat in it, along with maybe less carbs as well. As far as our veggies go, you can put any veggies that you like into your pasta salad. These are just the ones that I chose. I like to choose ones that I'm using in meals later on in the week, or that I'm snacking on later on in the week, so I can maybe make it a little bit more cost effective. So over here we have some broccoli. You definitely want to get some type of cruciferous vegetable to increase your fiber intake significantly in this meal. So either cauliflower or broccoli would work well for that. Then we have some red onion. You can see that mine is half of a red onion, which is what we'll use today, maybe a little bit less. And I have used half of that already in another meal that I've made. So again, try to use vegetables that you're going to use throughout the week to make it more cost effective. Then we have a green bell pepper, 2 Roma tomatoes. This is a really big cucumber. We'll probably only use about half of that, and then I'll use the other half just for snacking or other things throughout the week. And then we have some of these little baby peppers. These are, orange, yellow, red, and just kind of diversify our colors in here. So these are good for snacking as well. And I just cut these up just like normal bell peppers. So for this meal, I will tell you exactly how much I use for each. Oh, and I also forgot to add in that I have some Parmesan cheese. I don't add a lot of this, just enough for some flavor in there as well. So I will show you how to cut up each of these vegetables, or how I would cut up each of these vegetables to go into the pasta salad. That being said, I do have a little cheat over here, which is this little chopper. This thing is great, and I'll show you how to use it. It's really cheap on Amazon, and it's really worth it if you cut up a lot of different vegetables. So you just put the vegetable in the chopper right here and then close it down, and then it'll chop it into small little pieces for you, so you don't have to worry about, spending 30 minutes chopping all this stuff up. We're gonna start with our cucumber. So I actually have a bowl here to put all my vegetables in, and then I'm getting my pasta started over there in the corner. So I'm just gonna start by cutting this in half and cutting the end off. Now, I would like to note that I am going to keep the skin on this cucumber. You can choose not to. It's totally up to you, but you are going to get more fiber if you leave the skin on, so I do recommend that. So after we cut that, you can do this a few different ways. So we could cut this down the middle like this, so we have a flat surface to cut the vegetables on now. So it's not rolling around, right? So you're not going to get hurt. I would like to add that I'm not a professional chef, so everything that I'm cutting here is probably not what a chef would do, but it's close enough. So we're gonna cut down through the cucumber and cut little slices, kind of like this. If you are cutting this and dicing this a normal way, obviously you would just cut this into strips and then dice it the other direction. But I'm gonna use my little chopper here. So we're gonna use half of this cucumber. All right, next I'm gonna cut up my peppers. So I have a few of the smaller peppers here, and I'm gonna end up probably doing about half of this green pepper, since we do have these other peppers in here. And we'll start by chopping really these. So I like to kind of chop down through so that we miss the seeds with these, and just chop through all of the sides, just down really carefully. Again, missing your fingers. we're gonna get pieces that look like this, just flat pieces. So you can either put them in your chopper or you can cut them into slices and then dice them from there. I'm taking an intermission to come over to the pasta really quick. So I ended up doing about 6 servings of the whole grain pasta, and I'm put a bunch of salt in the water to make it salty and give it some flavor. So you may be asking how you kind of gauge what the serving size is for the pasta. So if you look on the side here, you're gonna see the serving size is 2 ounces or 56 grams. This is gonna be for the dry weight of the pasta. So if you have a food scale like this food scale was probably like $15 at Walmart, and I have had this now for at least 10 years. It's lasted a long time. So yeah, you can weigh your pasta out like that, and or you can just kind of eyeball it. So you can see that I have a little bit left in this container right below that window pane. Ended up being 6 servings exactly. Okay, so now we're gonna dice our 2 tomatoes. For this one, we're just gonna cut the ends off and then cut all the way down. And again, you can dice like this. So they end up looking like this. I would really use a serrated knife probably if you're dicing these with a knife instead of a chopper. And the last thing I'm actually gonna dice is going to be this red or purple onion. So for this, I do have half of the onion. If you were to cut this on your own and it was like a whole onion, you would cut each end off and then cut it in half. So this is what you would be left with. For this, I would just set it down so that the flat side is down. And from there, you can kind of cut individual pieces like this, and then you can cut the opposite way to dice. Our last vegetable that we're gonna cut is broccoli. So to cut our broccoli, you can obviously get the pre-chopped broccoli, but I decided to get this one today. So we're just gonna cut the stem off, like so. And then you're gonna be left with essentially these. So you're definitely gonna want to cut these down smaller, just kind of chop them in halves and things like that, so that they're way smaller for your pasta salad. And when I say way smaller, I'm meaning about this size. Okay, so we've got our big bowl of pasta, we've got our bowl of vegetables, and I am just going to make sure that this bowl is big enough so that we can actually mix everything in. Okay, so we're gonna add all of our veggies. And then we're gonna give that a good mix with a spoon. Now that we've got that all mixed, I'm gonna add about a half a bottle to 3/4 of a bottle of the Olive Garden light Italian dressing. Again, doesn't have to be the Olive Garden kind, but do make sure that it's the light version. I'm gonna just go ahead and pour it on here so I can tell you guys exactly how much to use. That is about half of the bottle. I'm actually gonna use a little bit more, so it's probably gonna be 3/4 of the bottle of the dressing. Right about there. I think we ended up right about here on the bottle, so maybe a little bit less than half. And from there, you can choose to or not. This does have some Parmesan cheese already in it, so you can add some Parmesan cheese to this. 1 serving for Parmesan cheese is a tablespoon. So it's not very much. So you need to be careful about how much you add in here because it can really add up on the saturated fat. So I'm just gonna add just enough to kind of give it some flavor and a little bit of that Parmesan texture in there as well. A little bit more. All right. So now I'm just gonna give this a really good mix and I'll be back to show you the final product. All right, so here we have our finished product of the pasta salad. You can add salt, pepper, whatever seasonings you want to taste for this. I'm not actually adding any salt. I think it is salty enough. I may add some pepper, some black pepper to this, but other than that, I think it's perfect. This is fantastic for lunch. Since there's about 6 servings in here, I'm probably gonna separate it out into Tupperware containers so you know exactly how much you're eating and you're not gonna eat too much of it at 1 serving. Because again, pasta can be really high in carbohydrates, and even though this is so high in fiber, you wanna be so careful when you have diabetes just to make sure you don't spike your blood sugar with too many carbs. So I'm gonna divvy this out into 6 different Tupperware containers, maybe 5 different Tupperware containers, and then go from there. Okay, so behind me we have our meal prepped pasta salads. I have kind of divvied this out into 6 different containers for the servings that we did. So now I know that I'm not overeating and this is the amount that I'm gonna have for the week. So you can do this. I definitely recommend it just so you make sure that you're not overeating or really under eating, so you can appropriately track how much you're getting. Something else I would do with this is I would maybe add some chicken on top. So what I usually do is buy a really big pack of chicken and freeze it. And then as I need it, I will thaw out the chicken, cut it in cubes, and cook it. And then for the week, for the next 3 to 4 days, I will have chicken at whatever meal I need it. That way I don't have to think about, every single meal what I'm gonna eat. I can just kind of grab and go, or, I don't have to think about every single meal, how much protein am I getting, how many carbs am I getting, is this healthy for me, is it gonna spike my blood sugar? I can just grab it and know that what I'm eating is good because I've already prepped it for the week. So I do recommend doing that as well, just to get an added layer of protein in. So here we have it, our meal prepped meals. Thank you all for tuning in, and have a great day.